As the Radicalisation Awareness Network transitions into the Knowledge Hub, bringing policymakers, researchers and practitioners together at EU level, it's the perfect time to find out why we are undertaking this transition. The CVE landscape looked very different in the early days of RAN.
We had a kind of terrorist attacks throughout Europe.
In the early days of RAN, there was a lot of focus on Salafi jihadism. Over time, the threat from violent white supremacists
Was a mental, emotional impact in the society that could risk that we fragment it.
In the face of this increased terrorist threat across Europe, the Radicalisation Awareness Network was created so practitioners could share knowledge and learning across the continent.
The initial purpose of setting up RAN was to build those connections, to build that community between practitioners that hadn't previously existed.
So there is a real kind of solidarity bond that progressed thanks to RAN throughout all these practitioners.
Today, its 6,000 plus members have created a huge and lasting legacy of resources, knowledge and practice.
The depth and breadth of experience that RAN brings is incalculable.
Practitioners have exchanged experience, knowledge, approaches to counter violent extremism in all its forms. And the RAN has produced papers, videos, webinars.
So many papers, so many guidelines, recommendations.
I've come across practitioners in the Global South, I've come across practitioners in Australia, I've come across practitioners in North America who view the RAN resources as absolutely invaluable.
With the COVID crisis, international conflicts, and the continued rise of digital technology, society has seen a transformation in the nature of the threat we face from violent extremism.
I think we have realized now that we have to deal with very diverging issues. There's a lot of activity online, including recruitment of young people. We have armed conflicts in the world. We have young people dealing with a lack of belonging, the rise of lone actors that committing terrorist acts, and problems with mental health.
The kinds of worldviews that exploded during the COVID-19 pandemic some of those have metastasized and crystallized into violent ideologies that really challenge our perspective when it comes to fitting violent extremist movements into neat boxes, whether that be far right or Salafi jihadist or far left.
So we need to have really a comprehensive strategy, bring all the actors together, be able to adapt, to be flexible, to be quick, to react quickly to the new challenges.
In 2024, the European Commission is responding to the complex issues faced by the CVE community by launching the Knowledge Hub, bringing policymakers, researchers and practitioners together at EU level to face these common challenges.
We learned with the RAN that there is no single path to radicalization. These processes are very complex, very complicated, so we will continue, as with the RAN, to embrace the whole of society approach.
Building on the success of the RAN, the EU Knowledge Hub on prevention of radicalisation will be a collaborative platform with new formats for practitioners, policymakers and researchers to exchange together. For example, the new thematic panels will allow stakeholders to share and disseminate knowledge on key topics.
To think in a long-term strategic way about each of those issue areas, break down silos between those communities and emerge with new and even more powerful solutions that build on and accelerate the incredible legacy of RAN.
The Hub will have more targeted and tailored support, with a renewed focus on training and research, and new foresight services to help to identify emerging issues.
We're going to handle subject by subject. There are going to be more subjects, but we will also work on a longer time over each subject. So we go more into depth with a broader view of the issues.
We also need to be more conscious of how the geopolitical context impacts on radicalization. The wider context, the global context, can have an impact on these processes.
The Knowledge Hub will help us to expand our knowledge base, exchange best practices, and support those working in member states in developing new strategies and policies.
So we have to look at the whole picture to be successful in our interventions. So this is what we want to do with the hub, and we want all the people who have a contribution to make to engage with the hub.
Practitioner engagement will remain essential in the Knowledge Hub. Stay tuned for more updates on Hub activities as we start this new chapter in PCVE work at EU level.